All right.
Okay. Now I going to have to talk double fast.
That's okay. We could go a little late. Okay, so turning it over to you, Melody, finally.
All right. Thank you, Art. I'm excited to be here, and in spite of technical difficulties, I'm just going to say really quick for all of you that, Art, I'm assuming that you are recording this, so I am going to talk fast so we don't go over too far. Plus, I'm going to let you know at the end how you can get a copy of this. So if you don't keep up with the writing, don't worry. I just want you all to listen to what I learned, okay? So let's get started. I want to thank you very much for being here and taking your time this morning, because we know it is the most precious thing that we all have, especially in today's high-speed world. And I also, on a personal note, want to thank you for the opportunity to actually have prepared this presentation. I have learned so much along the way, and I hope, like me, that when we're done this today, that you will take this and tell every woman that you know. I hope that you will leave this morning changed in a way that you are more informed and more aware of where we're headed as women in the future. And I hope that you will tell everyone you know. So let me share with you a little bit about what started me on this journey. It started probably, first of all, with the CD that came out featuring Carolyn Johnson and others, and Cindy Samuelson actually hosted it, and that is The Perfect Business for Women Over 50. Well, this is about anybody. You don't have to be over 50. And also for me, what was a real personal thing, I happened to be watching the news one evening, and I rarely watch the news because it's kind of full of a lot of bad news. So I just say, well, I don't need to know it. If it's really big, everybody will phone me and tell me, about what's happening. But I was watching for a particular item that was coming on the news, and on came this little review about a woman who could be your mother or grandmother. She looked like a totally normal person, and here she was. She had been living on the streets for 2 weeks. Shopping cart, the whole bit. This was in the wintertime, I think it was February or March. And, they asked this woman, why are you on the street? Why are you not living? And she said, I ran out of money and I couldn't afford to pay my rent. And they said, well, is there no one to help you? And she said, no. And she planned to continue to live on the streets in Vancouver, one of the top, most beautiful cities in the world. And I thought, wow, if this can happen here, and this can happen to her, then this can happen to just about anybody I know, including me. And it really had a huge impact on me in terms of where we were going and what was happening in our world. So that's where this all came from. And, of course, I want you to know why we called this presentation Abundance, because although you're about to hear some very awful facts, in fact, what I want us to be able to focus on, rather than scarcity and poverty, I would like us to be able to focus on abundance and about being smart women, making smart choices, and doing smart things with our money. So let's move on and let's talk about the 3 trends that we're also going to cover. And, of course, wouldn't you know it, my screen doesn't want to go. Here we go. We're going to talk about the 3 hottest trends in this presentation today about home-based business, health and wellness, and the mangosteen fruit. Now, I also want to tell you something else that happened to me as I was doing this presentation, and I have put a lot of hours of research into it, but as I was going, I was getting grumpier and grumpier, and I fact finally said to my husband, if I ever say I'm going to do something like this, just shoot me, because I don't want to do this. This is just too much work, and it's so frustrating. And he says, well, why are you so grumpy? And I finally realized what I had hoped to be able to call my little presentation, kind of based on the good, the bad, and the ugly. I searched, and the crankier I got, the worse it was getting. I could not find any good. And so today, what we're going to talk about is the realities, the possibilities, and what I certainly see as a solution, and lots of you on the phone do too. So let's get started with the reality. For the first time in American history, more than 50% of women age 50-plus are unmarried due to life choices, divorce, or widowhood. And we're going to talk a little bit about what that means and why that's having such an impact on women today. In the U.S., one baby boomer dies every 54 seconds. And, at some point, baby boomers are going to have a very large impact on the death care services industry. But what we need to know that as a generation, the baby boomers have tended to avoid discussions and planning for their demise, and they've tended to avoid doing any kind of long-term planning. Let's talk about the top 10 things boomer women want in 2007. This list was actually released in February as a result of a contest sponsored by the National Association of Baby Boomer Women. So here's the top 10. Number 10, they want the fashion world to recognize that we still like to feel and look pretty. We want a realistic portrayal of our generation in commercials and catalogs and magazines. Okay, we want us to look positive. And when you think about that, I want you to think about Dove, because really I think they've been so ahead of the game in their Real Women campaign. Number 8, we want to participate in our healthfulness and well-being. We want doctors to listen to our concerns and work proactively with us to keep our bodies healthy and fit. Now, I'm sure some of you baby boomers out there are relating to this. We also would like to have affordable, quality health care, including prescription drugs for our parents, families, and our present and future selves. Number 6, this is starting to turn into a bit of a wish list, but we want assurance that our government-sponsored retirement benefits and Medicare will be there when we need them. Number 5, we want to travel for rest, adventure, and to visit family and friends. This was just a picture that we took at Elevation Retreat in Hawaii, I guess about a month ago. Hello, Joe and Joe, and Grace and Bob Dick, along with Merle and I. We also want financial security, and I don't think that's a surprise to any of us. You notice we don't want to talk about it, but we do want financial security. Number 3, we want a world where truth is our highest value, especially from our leaders. Number 2, we want peace and safety. We want our children and our grandchildren to be safe from predators, guns, environmental disasters, and war. I don't think there's anybody would argue with that. Number 1, the top thing that baby boomer want is love. Imagine that. It all comes back to love. We want the people of the world to love each other and to love God, and we desire to make a difference. Now, I want you to remember, we want love and we desire to make a difference, because you're going to find that that runs true consistently through everything that women are doing today. So let's talk a little bit about the coming crisis regarding women's issues around aging and their financial future. Nations of the world face the challenges of helping aging women attain economic security and promoting the productive potential of women as they grow old. Now, it's very easy. I could sit here in Canada, and you could sit there in the U.S. or in England or wherever any of you are from, because we've got callers from all over the world this morning. And it's easy for us to think that's probably happening in another country, but it's not happening to us. But watching that woman on TV proves that it's actually happening in our backyards. And there are many studies being done, and this report was actually prepared for the United Nations Second World Assembly on Aging. And governments around the world are taking this report and studying and looking to see what they can do to prepare the way for the future and the coming crisis around women's issues. We're going to talk about 5 key points of crucial concern here this morning. Number 1, in 2004, as you can see, and that was only a few years ago, as you can see, the average single woman was not very good financially, was not doing very well. In the United States, approximately 70% of older households have annual incomes below $35,000. Almost 30% of those have incomes between 10 and 20. And of course, you're seeing, as a single woman, that picture is even worse for any single woman, whether that be widows or divorced or whatever it might be. So it's something to keep in mind that women are not in good shape, and especially single women. Number 2, as you can see, 3.4 million Americans in 2003 were living below the poverty line. Another 2.3, or almost 7%, were classified as near poor. Now, older men are much more likely to be married than older women. So for women, it gets worse. 43% of all older women in 2004 were widows. And it just keeps getting worse as the time goes on, and we are now in 2007. For 1 out of 4 of these women, Social Security was their only source of income. As primary caregivers of the house, women contributed much less to their Social Security and are generally paid less when they do work. And so it has created, again, that whole picture of poverty that we were just talking about with women. Half of older women aged 75 plus live alone. The number of childless women has grown to an alarming rate, and there's going to be no one to care for these women in their old age. The average American life expectancy in 2003 was 77.6 years. That's 80 for women and 74.8 for men. Women live longer than men by an average of 5 years, 5.3 years actually. This means about 85% of women will die alone, either unmarried, divorced, or widowed. By 2020, this total will be 13.3 million. 45% of women living alone are poor or near poor. Not a pretty picture for any of us. Also, we have new vulnerabilities concerning standard of living in retirement. Declining stock prices after the crash of the high-tech sector in 2000 pushed many pension plans into deficit status and certainly undermined their value. So it is not a good picture for those even who thought they were organized and ready and prepared for retirement. Many people are not going to be able to do what they had planned to do when they retired. The picture is not good. It gets worse. In the U.S., the Social Security Trust Fund is predicted to run out in 2039. So if you're within 23 years of retirement, you can forget Social Security because you're not going to get a penny unless the entire system is fixed, and it would have to be fixed quickly due to this ever-increasing dead-end street. Americans are much likely to live longer than previously predicted, and that is going to just create even more of a weight on the Social Security system, and that's not just in the U.S. In Canada, the prediction is no different, and for most of us, we can probably not plan to have our Social Security there unless there's some great fix that appears in the very near future. And because of the huge size of the baby boomer generation, this problem will only be compounded. Studies show that nearly one-half of all Americans aged 60 to 90 will experience at least 1 year of living near or below the poverty line during their elderly lifespan. Just more bad news. So let's talk a little bit about some possibilities, because I'm assuming by now you've figured out the news is not good, and I'm only giving you a little wee bit of some of the stats that I found. So let's talk about some possibilities. For women, the number of women-owned businesses in this country grew at twice the rate of all firms between 1997 and 2002, jumping 14% to 6.2 million, according to the Center for Women's Business Research. Women-owned businesses account for 20% of all privately owned businesses and employ 9.2 million people. They contribute $2.38 trillion, that's trillion, in revenue to the U.S. economy, and I think that's closer now to $3 trillion, and that's according to the Small Business Association. Nearly half of all small businesses are owned by women. Another study found that the number of female entrepreneurs is growing at 3.3% annually, which is greater than the number of men who are becoming entrepreneurs. So women have obviously decided that they need to do something to change their futures. Studies show that women are more likely to have home-based businesses than men. Home-based businesses, regardless of the gender of owner-managers, actually require special sensitivity in how, where, and who will be, and how they'll be working. And so women have also definitely advanced in the home-based business sector as well. 1 in 11 adult women is an entrepreneur today, and the majority of those are mothers. Seniorpreneurs, okay, a lot of seniors are going, yeah, my retirement plan's not working, the pension plan has fallen apart, and so we have a whole new group of entrepreneurs called seniorpreneurs, and today they lead the U.S. in business startups. Aging baby boomers will lead the surge, and the number of self-employed 55 and older entrepreneurs has increased 18% from 1994 to 2003, and I can only imagine that that number has greatly increased. To a lot of boomers, retirement means continuing to work in their own way and reinventing themselves, And as you can see, this may get tough for some of those seniors out there, but there are a lot of seniors having to continue to work because they have no other way to support themselves. Let's go on to some solutions. This is what I see as a solution, and certainly an option for anyone out there considering needing a solution. This is a picture of the front of the book of Why We Want You to Be Rich by Robert Kiyosaki and Donald Trump. They're concerned that the rich are getting richer, but that in America, the middle class is getting poorer. And they talk a lot about network marketing. And in fact, they say on the front of this cover, I don't know if you can read it, but it says, why we recommend network marketing. There are many benefits the network marketing industry offers those who want more from their lives. So I'd like to introduce to you Colleen Melstead. Colleen, are you on with us? I'm thinking not. We keep losing Colleen. She's actually up at the lake today at her cottage.
Recording, you may hang up or press pound for more options.
That's all right, Merle. Thanks. We'll just carry it. I'm going to share with you Colleen's story. We'd hope to have her on with us. Colleen Melstead is, in her former life, was a manager of a medical clinic. Colleen and her family, with two daughters, live in Abbotsford, British Columbia. And today, Colleen is a stay-at-home mom who has achieved 20K status with Zango. And Colleen's story is pretty amazing because she had tried doing a network marketing business before and had some, mild success. It was networking, it was nutritional, and so she found that fairly easy. But when Colleen got asked if she would like to
Please hang up and try your call again. If she'd like
to take a look at Zango, then she kind of said no, and she described it as she had all four parts, her hands and her feet literally tied onto the door frame, saying, no, I don't want to try another thing. I don't want to do this again. Well, Colleen had some amazing results in her family with this product, and so she began to tell people, because it's really about you and I sharing. And she began to tell people, and within, I think it was almost probably about a year and a half, had actually managed to save enough money where one day she all of a sudden went, oh my goodness, I have enough money now in my bank account saved from my checks that I can pay off my credit cards, which she promptly did, and has had just such an exciting time at what's happened for her family, the traveling that they're doing, and just the ability to be able to be at home, be a part of her children's lives, taking them to their, she has figure skating. Her daughters both figure skate, and she does as well. So being able to be involved in her children's life, she says, what a different world for her. And one of the things that she said that really hit home with me when I was talking with her the other day, she says, I talk to a lot of baby boomer women, and I talk to a lot of women who have no idea how they're going to survive. And she says, one of the reasons why I'm working so hard at my business today is, she says, I don't want to be in that position of where a lot of women are today and not having the money to retire. So sorry you didn't get to hear from Colleen. An amazing story. If you ever get a chance to talk with her, ask her to share her story.
I'm here, Melody.
Oh, Colleen, I've told the whole story. What did I miss?
Oh, I don't know. I actually just got back on, so.
Okay, well, Colleen, really quick, I kind of told them about your credit card story and, all hands on the doors not wanting to do this, but just give us a little brief rundown here of what this has been for you and what this has looked like as a business for you.
Well, thanks, Melody. I wish I would have been on this call, but we had some difficulties as well getting kicked off. But anyway, I had a few points here as far as financial freedom, and one of the things that Melody had mentioned, financial freedom, I'm not quite there, but I'm in the financial flexibility stage right now where, having two kids and being a stay-at-home mom, and they say that babies cost. It's not the baby, it's the kid that gets older that costs. And this opportunity has come at a perfect time in my life to be able to support my kids through activities and be at home with them and so that was one thing. The paying off the credit cards and releasing that stress was huge, and it was actually shocking and exhilarating at the same time to go in and be able to do that. Are we still there?
We sure are. We're just
okay, good.
Financial flexibility.
Yeah, and the next thing, residual income. I don't know if you told anybody this, but a year ago when my daughter was really ill, I mean, I didn't understand the residual part of this totally. And when my life was turned upside down with a sick kid, I was afraid for her. Most of, that was my priority, but the one big thing was that, I was riding high on this business, and what was I going to do? And, in that year of her recovery, my paycheck did not flex. If not, it grew, and my business was growing just steadily. So, I've experienced the residual income. That has made me very excited about, having gone through that and had my business stay intact. And I have, a lot of my downline to thank for that. If I had a regular job, I probably would have lost my job having to experience that.
And your paycheck certainly wouldn't have continued to grow.
No, it would not have continued to grow. So that's the beauty of all of this. That things do keep growing when those little obstacles get in your way. And it was certainly a test in my life. The third thing is, in my business part of it is I just really, like we've all been stressing for the past couple of years, is just to keep this really simple and from the heart. And I think that we have that opportunity to keep this a simple business and keep it from the heart because we have such a dynamic product. I mean, the product works, and when the product works and you have a story, then it's pretty easy just to give off that energy that we have something very legit here that can help people in, all different aspects of our life. So, I'm out delivering that message as, I've been trained to deliver the message and just stay the messenger. And to keep it just very simple, very streamlined, and use the beautiful tools that we've, had provided by, some great leaders in this business as well. So, keep it simple, talk from the heart, and be consistent, and I think you'll never fail in this opportunity.
Thank you, Colleen. You have shared some great words and great insight into the simplicity, or I guess you've literally taken the simplicity down, or to the factor of that's all there is, and that's great. So thank you so much. I think that was great, and we'll let you get back to the lake now.
Okay, well, have a great day.
Thanks, Colleen.
Thank you, Melody.
Well, you heard it. It's pretty simple. Here's what Donald Trump had to say about why network marketing, and I think if you remember Colleen's words, this is going to make a lot of sense. Marketing is a powerful tool, and network marketing can increase that power. He says it's this simple. You see a product, remove the advertising agency, and you do the marketing and advertising. That's called network marketing. Now, all of us network. We all talk about the latest, greatest movie or the newest restaurant in town. In fact, I was just out for dinner with friends last night. I said, you've got to come to this restaurant. You have to see it. It's great. The food was awesome. And, I didn't get paid, but that's where networking is so alive and well. We're always out there telling others about our favorite book, our favorite website, the newest product that we just learned about. And when we come into the marketing part of it, that's when we get paid, and that's network marketing. So it's pretty simple. What's required? This is what Donald said is required. You have to have the right product. You need to have an entrepreneurial spirit. You need to have focus and perseverance. And you have to have a can-do attitude. That's what's required. He said the enthusiasm and the excitement, if you have the right product, will get you to the point where you will have a thriving, growing business. Donald Trump says network marketing has proven itself to be a viable and rewarding source of income. My advice is to do your research, and if you find something that has all of the right elements, he says put everything you've got into it. Genuine enthusiasm is hard to beat. So what is network marketing? Let's take a look at this. There's no mystery. It's just really another form of sales and distribution. The difference being is that I am the person, or Colleen is the person, or whoever else you know is the person sharing the story about the product. Call it the age of direct selling, with its emphasis on personal, one-on-one relationships between distributor and consumer, convenience, and a high degree of consumer education. The industry may be tailor-made for today's consumer and company. This is a very important quote from Fortune, because I think it holds the key to the shift that's starting to happen in our world today in terms of how marketing and sales are done and distribution. Because are we not all pretty much conditioned when somebody says to us, you need to check this out, whether it's a book, a movie, a product, a place for your vacation, what do we all do? Most of us run to the internet, type it in, and do a search. And so one of the key things here is when we're talking about a high degree of consumer education and the one-on-one relationship, this industry, network marketing, is truly tailor-made for today's consumer. Let's talk about the history, though, first. We got to always go back in time. So I want to share with you another kind of business, and that's franchising. I used to be in the restaurant franchise business, and I didn't realize this, but it almost was illegal. Imagine that. By the early 1960s, franchising was considered a radical new technology in business. Can you imagine? A radical new technology, facing much resistance at its beginning. There was a strong move, in fact, to make franchising illegal. It came within 11 votes of being outlawed by Congress. Now, I have to tell you, there was days standing in my restaurant that I wished they'd have made it outlawed, but we'll carry on because that got me here. Today, this so-called scam, franchising, is responsible for over 34% of all retail sales in North America. In fact, that number may have grown since I got this quote. Franchises sell nearly $800 billion worth of goods and services today. And you know it because you can stand on any street corner and just turn. You don't even have to walk. You can just turn. And almost guaranteed, in most cities and towns across North America, you will see a franchise business of some sort. Well, network marketing is also 60-plus years young. Direct selling, the fourth father to network marketing, actually originated back in the mid-1800s. In 1929, network marketing had its beginning. It was coined friendship marketing, right? Because all of us, what do? We tell our friends about the restaurant, about the movie, about the hairdresser. That's friendship marketing. In the early 1940s, a company called California Vitamins realized that their new sales reps all coming aboard were from friends and family of existing salespeople. And I imagine back in the early 40s, it would have been tough to find employees. So they were pretty excited about that, and so they created a whole pay plan around you bringing your friend and your cousin and your uncle to come and work at their place of business. A few company changed its name to Nutrilite, Food Supplement Corporation. Probably doesn't mean anything to you, but maybe this next fact will. In 1959, former Nutrilite distributors Rich DeVos and Jay Van Andel started the Amway Company as the American way of marketing products. Now, I just have to ask, how many of you on this call were involved at one time with Amway? Now, I know from doing this presentation to live audiences that probably about 25% of you will put up your hands. But when I ask this next question, how many of you used Amway products in your home? How many of you had that SA8 soap or the dishwasher detergent or LOC? I'll bet you, again, from presentations, I will tell you that now 75% of you probably have your hand up. That's because somebody told you about a great soap. And so that's how this business grows. It's all about referrals and telling people about something that you like. But come on now, isn't network marketing a pyramid scheme? Isn't that one of our biggest things that we hear often? Well, actually, this is Robert Kiyosaki now. He says corporations are really pyramid schemes with one person at the top, generally the CEO, and everyone else below. And we know how that goes. There's the CEO at the top, and then there's the vice presidents, and then there's the assistants to the vice presidents, and then there's the overall general managers, and so on and so forth, until it actually gets to that person that greets you at a desk or at a door in a grocery store or someplace else that is looking after you. Those are all the people below. A true network marketing business is the exact opposite of a traditional business model. It's designed to bring you to the top, not keep you at the bottom. A true network marketing business does not succeed unless it brings people to the top. Let's talk a little bit about those illegal pyramid schemes and find out where that whole concept came from. The first abuses happened way back at World War I when the chain letter craze swept the U.S. The letters promised great profit, and some of you will probably remember those. I can remember those because I am a baby boomer. I remember getting a letter, send $1 to the person on the bottom, remove the name, or the person at the top, remove the name, put yours on the bottom, and send it out to everyone you know. Right? Chain letter craze. In fact, we still get them every day, don't we? We get them all the time in email. The chain letters spread as far as Europe, and by the 1930s, the U.S. Post Office estimated that 10 million letters were being mailed each day. Can you imagine? 10 million back in the 1930s. Boy, it must have been a profitable time for the post office, I'm thinking. Maybe a great way to do business. I don't know. But unfortunately, this scam spawned schemes which came to be known as pyramids, where money was given for the right to involve others, and there was no product being sold or purchased. So there's your clue. From now on, if there's no product involved and you're signing up and spending $500 for a training manual, but there's no product, you might want to take a second look. In 1974, Senator Walter Mondale declared such companies to be the nation's #1 consumer fraud. So here's the question. Is the pyramid the strongest structure on earth, or is it a scam? How many of you have thought it was a scam? How many of you have worried that your friends will think it's a scam? Don't be shy. Put your hand up. I know you're sitting at your desk at home. Put your hand up anyway, because I know a lot of us we've worried about that in the past, and for good reason, because of all those chain letter things going on. Well, Amway spent 4 years and millions of dollars in legal fees to clear its name, because Amway was one of the companies that was attacked, the big company. And in 1979, the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, ruled that Amway was not a pyramid, that its revenue was generated from the sale of its products, and the FTC acknowledged network marketing as a legal and efficient distribution system. So now you know, and kudos to Amway. I hope you all raise your hands, give them a round of applause, because Amway literally pioneered and broke the trail for all of us to follow. And in fact, network marketing exploded in the next decade. And today, here's a question. What does Warren Buffett know that most of us do not? Now, I don't know if you know it or not, but if you were going to try and buy a share in Warren Buffett's company, I'm not sure of the exact numbers, but the last time I heard it was around $80,000 to $85,000 for a share. Most of us don't run in those kind of circles. But here's what's interesting. World-famous business tycoon Warren Buffett's largest acquisition 2 years ago was Pampered Chef, a network marketing company. So Warren Buffett knows something about shifting and changing trends. He feels that many people each doing a little work instead of just a few doing all the work made a whole lot of sense. The world's 2 largest cosmetic companies, Avon and Mary Kay, are both network marketing companies. Imagine that. We have all of the stores. We got Neiman Marcus, and we have the drugstores, and we have the grocery stores. We have, all of the finest, all of the brand names, all of them selling cosmetics. And yet Avon and Mary Kay network marketing companies are the 2 largest companies in the world. 1 out of every 6 people in Japan participate in network marketing, and in the U.S., the number of active distributors in network marketing has doubled in the past 5 years. So let's talk about some key trends. We're going to talk about home-based business, the wellness industry, and mango seed. First, home-based business. Stats show that approximately 8,000 new home-based businesses start daily in the U.S. alone. That means a new home-based business starts every 11 minutes. It's estimated that by 2010, a whopping 69% of all households will support themselves from some form of home-based business. That's huge. That's only 2.5 years away. 69%. And did you know that most home-based businesses actually earn double the amount of income as compared to their counterpart who would be doing a similar kind of job, sitting on the freeway, in traffic, having to beg for a day off, having to, work sometimes where they don't want to. And if you stayed home and did the same kind of job, most home-based businesses earn double. Something to think about. The great equalizer. Direct selling an equal opportunity for financial and personal growth to women and men from every background. That's one of the best things about this kind of home-based business. When we're talking network marketing and direct selling, it doesn't matter what your education is, what your background is, what your color is, what your age is, what your sex is. It just doesn't matter what your size is. It just doesn't matter. It's an equal opportunity for everybody. Direct selling also helps minimize the risk involved in starting a business. If you were going to start the kind of franchise restaurant that I was in, and this is a less expensive one than some, but it still would cost you about $400,000 today. That's before you hired the staff and paid for the advertising and found a place to rent. That's just for the cost of getting set up. So direct selling helps minimize that because usually the cost is very small to get in. Who's joining network marketing today? Well, believe it or not, first of all, network marketing is considered to be one of the fastest growing professions today. Yes, that's right, fastest growing professions. You as a network marketer are a professional. But guess who's joining you? All the other professionals out there, along with your friends, your family, your next-door neighbors. But most importantly, what people are beginning to understand, those people, the lawyers, the accountants, the doctors, and so on, are beginning to understand that they are, in fact, trading time for money. If they don't go to work, they don't get paid. Colleen just talked about having to take most of last year off because her daughter was very sick. But her paycheck kept growing. For most people, that would never happen. And certainly the professionals have realized the only way to increase their income is to work more hours. And we all know there are only so many hours in a day. Forget going to the beach for 2 months or 2 weeks, because if you do, there's no paycheck coming in. And so that's what people are beginning to see and why they're excited about what the network marketing world offers to them. Direct selling is the career of choice for 10 million plus women across the U.S. That's a lot of women who've got it figured out. 59 million people worldwide are part of the direct selling industry, and 4 out of 5 of them are women. Why do home-based business and network marketing work so well for women? Well, it certainly provides options that allow us to balance family needs, career needs, financial needs, personal needs. It does a lot of meeting of needs for all of us. And for those who have worked with that, again, talking about Colleen and a lot of other moms out there, it makes a lot of sense. Here's what Empowering Women in March 2000 said, the best options for female entrepreneurs and why network marketing is one of the best options. It allows freedom and flexibility. It allows you to choose when and how much you want to work. It allows for financial security and control, because today in our world, job security does not exist. This allows you to build, and the best part is allows you to start part-time so you can actually work your regular primary job or career and start this part-time and transition it into something that will be very strong and secure for your financial future. Recognition is another big thing. When was the last time someone cheered you at home or at work? This is a stage of, I believe this actually was 100Ks, although some of these people are now 200K, for a Zengo convention. We have Tim and Sharon Phillip, Joan Pretty, Bob and Grace Dick, now 200Ks, Aaron Garrity in the background. We have Sophie Rashkin back there as well. So recognition. This business allows for a lot of cheering you on and just making you feel good about what you accomplish every day. Also, tax benefits. Allowable deductions will often allow for you to save $5,000 to $7,000 in tax savings yearly, and in some cases, much more. In some countries, much more. And then there's the personal growth. Robert Kiyosaki says, you should join a network marketing company just for the training and the personal growth that you will have. Now, one of my downlines sent me an email and said, This is what I heard about personal growth. It's kind of like having brain surgery without any anesthetic. And there are days it might feel like that. But as Robert Kiyosaki said, you will never get this kind of on-the-job training because corporations and companies just don't have the time or often the resources. And when you're in a network marketing company, most of that comes almost free or a very small price. And then there's the social aspect. All right, there is so much time that you get to spend with friends and family. This is Sonia Taylor Premier and Mary Malsbury from Calgary, 20K, having a good time in Hawaii. And there's no limits. You can give yourself a raise anytime you want. Set your own goals, create the lifestyle you want. There are no restrictions on your territory or your income with this business. And it allows you a chance to choose an alternative career path over the corporate world if you so choose. Robbie Fender, a mortgage broker and multi-million-dollar earner in network marketing, says network marketing is the real estate of the 21st century. Paul Zane Pilzer says direct selling provides an unparalleled opportunity for millions of people to take responsibility for their own economic wellness and so on. So you're starting to hear the theme, right? It's, your chance to be able to build and create your future. Let's talk for a second about true residual income. Colleen, I think, summed it up perfectly. But what is residual income? Well, it's when you do the work once, you get paid month after month and year after year. Now, just for a second, I want you to imagine going into your boss next Friday, okay, and say, all right, boss, I've worked hard all week. I've done my job for the last month, and now I'm ready for residual income. So here's the address. Just keep sending the paycheck, and, maybe I'll stop in and see you occasionally. Not going to happen, right? Well, in network marketing, as Colleen just showed you, when you get an income going and you build it, you get paid month after month and year after year. That's residual income. So here's a good example. Is Elvis still alive? Now, there are some who believe he is alive still, and I have to tell you, I was almost convinced. Recently was in Kentucky and had a young man tell me the whole story behind Elvis, and I'm almost convinced that he might still be alive, and I want you to know we found him. We found him at Hell's Gate Tunnel. I don't know what Elvis was doing there, but my parents might have been right when they wouldn't let me watch him on the Ed Sullivan Show. When they wouldn't show anywhere below the belt line? Yeah. Well, here's the thing about Elvis. Okay, Elvis has built an amazing residual income. Now, we always know that we can't take it with us, but nobody said you can't keep earning it. Do you know what Elvis earned last year? Approximately $50 million. Not bad for a guy who's not really supposed to be around anymore. So that's the truth of residual income, because every time we listen to Elvis or every time there's a movie on, we don't even have to listen to it. We don't have to watch it. Elvis still gets paid his royalties. You and I get paid when we tell our story. When we share what our story is around this product, we get paid an income, which becomes residual with network marketing. That's the simple story. And we get to, of course, leave a legacy for our children and our grandchildren because we get to will our work for them. Again, I challenge you, go into your boss and say, hey, boss, when I'm dead and gone, I've worked hard all my time here with you, so here's what I'd like you to do. I'm going to will this job to my children and my grandchildren, and so you can just send the checks right on here. Here's the address. When I'm gone, just keep sending the checks. It doesn't work that way, but that's how it works when you build a network marketing business. All right, let's go on. Paul Zane Pilzer. He talks about the number one business opportunity for those who want to create new wealth is educating consumers. Wow, same train of thought again, right? Educating consumers about products and services that will improve their lives. He also says that over the next 10 years, we are poised to create an additional 10 million millionaires. 10 million millionaires. And how does he think we're going to do that? Through the direct selling industry. He said it is perfectly positioned to create many of these next millionaires. So we are in the perfect kind of business when we're talking about network marketing. Kiyosaki states that building a network marketing business is a revolutionary way to achieve wealth. It makes it possible for anyone and is open to anyone that has the drive and determination. And he says, I finally found a business with a heart when he talks about network marketing. So the theme continues. Now let's talk about the wellness industry, because remember, that's another one of the trends. Today, it's a $300 billion industry. Tomorrow, they're predicting it will be a $1 trillion industry. Where is all of that going to come from? Well, you know what happened between 1946 and 1964. If you were born at that time, you know that you're a baby boomer. Funny thing happened after World War II when all the soldiers went home. 9 months later, a whole lot of babies started to be born. 78 million in the U.S. and worldwide about 1 billion. So what's important to know? Well, baby boomers, number one, don't like to use prescription drugs. But they do like to feel better and look younger, and they do have the money to spend on it. So the health and wellness industry is growing rapidly because the baby boomer is aging. What is the baby boomer doing to feel younger? 76% cited regular exercise. And baby boomers are healthier in a lot of important ways. They are much less likely to smoke, but at the same time, they report difficulty climbing stairs, getting up from chairs, and doing all of those things that they're used to doing. They're worried about chronic problems. And in the end, they actually are discovering today that baby boomers appear to be less healthy than their parents, although they seem to want to be more healthier and seem to be doing more things about their health. So what's happening? 71% say they watch what they eat. Now, the question that, has to be asked here is, are they just watching it, or are they actually doing something about it? Maybe they're just watching it. 40% say they take a vitamin or a mineral supplement on a regular basis. Important information if you're going to look at a home-based business for yourself. Their greatest health concerns, both men and women surveyed, and this is what the greatest health concerns are: cancer, heart disease, Alzheimer's, arthritis, and diabetes. We're all very familiar with that, aren't we? The American Heart Association, these are from 2007, these stats. In 2004, a whole lot of American females died from cardiovascular disease. 7.2 million females had coronary heart disease, and 3.3 million had a stroke. Serious numbers. 7.9 million females and 7.3 million males were living with diabetes that had been diagnosed. It doesn't have a stat for how many have not yet been diagnosed but are actually living with it. 1 in 2.6 deaths in women are from cardiovascular disease. The average age of a person having a first heart attack is 65.8 for men and 70.4 for women. Not happy numbers. So remember, baby boomers don't like to take prescription drugs, right? They are afraid of the side effects, and they are also very familiar that with their parents and grandparents, in a lot of cases, we watched them take a lot of those prescription drugs, but we didn't see them get any benefits. We saw them dealing with side effects. So here's a little cartoon of what it might look like if pharmacists actually told the truth. We have a customer going in, and she asks the pharmacist, what will this drug do? And the pharmacist says, this drug may cause dizziness, chest pain, diarrhea, loss of memory, blood clots, joint pain, and anal leakage. I don't even know what that is, and I don't want to know. I don't want it. Customer says, are those the side effects? Pharmacist says, oh, no, those are the main effects. The side effect is that it just might lower your cholesterol. Scary thought. Here's a very strong statement from a newspaper in April of 2007. This is an article by Mike Adams. Over 100 to 200,000 North Americans are killed each year by so-called properly prescribed medications, not to mention those who die from mistakes. He goes on to say that Americans are fed up with the drug industry influence and FDA corruption. The number of people killed by FDA-approved pharmaceuticals since 9/11 is the equivalent to dropping a nuclear bomb on a major U.S. city. International terrorists could not even hope to cause the number of casualties in the United States that have been achieved by the drug companies working in conspiracy with the FDA. Those are strong statements. But the American people, North American people, are starting to wake up to what drugs have cost their bodies. So let's talk about one of the top 10 trends that we are watching. Timing is everything, and the revolution has arrived. We are going to talk a little bit about this product because we think this is the solution and the recommendation of what we have to offer for people who are looking to change their lives, both with their health and with their financial picture. So if I may, I'd like to tell you my story really quick, so now then you will know why I get pretty passionate about this. 4 years ago, when my husband and I heard about this product, about Zango Juice, we, we're going on our life just like everybody else, but I was in pretty rough shape. My body was full of pain all the time, lots of aches and pains, and when I'd get up in the morning, I could barely walk. I would hobble and hang onto the walls and, banisters to get myself down the stairs, and my only thing I could do, because I could not flatten my feet, it would take 5 or 10 minutes to actually flatten my feet and sort of unfold my body. And it would take sitting in the hot tub for, 10, 15 minutes every morning just so that I could function. 4 years ago, I was afraid that I would be in a wheelchair by the time I was 55. Well, about 6 weeks into taking this product, I started to see some improvements and had actually woke up one morning thinking, gosh, my legs are paralyzed. I couldn't feel them. What I realized, of course, once I settled my panic attack down was that I had no pain. Well, over the last 4 years, life has continued to improve, and I didn't get to here overnight. It took some time. But instead of being in a wheelchair, I am so excited to tell you that on my 51st birthday just 3 months ago, I did the Vancouver Sun 10K Marathon. I walked it. Here is me coming through. I was so excited. Life has just so changed for me in the 4 years of what I can and cannot do. And in fact, just 4 weeks ago, my husband and I started taking kickboxing just because I can. So it's been an exciting time for us, an exciting development, and I'm not here to make any claims because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. All I know is the only thing I did different was drink this juice, the mangosteen juice. So let's talk a little bit about the mangosteen. First of all, I want you to know that the mangosteen was one of the top 10 trends to watch in 2006. And the whole fruit mangosteen is what our juice is made out of, as compared to other products that are made with extracts and so on and so forth. The mangosteen is grown in Southeast Asia, and because we now have it in a bottle, we get to drink this juice every day, 365 days a year. But what's most important about all of this is that we use the pureed whole fruit mangosteen. The fruits existed for thousands of years and have been used in folklore medicine in many ways. But we, of course, are taking it today very differently because we get to have this pureed into a juice that tastes very delicious. Our product is patented. Zango has a 20-year patent registered in over 90 countries, which means we are the only one that can put the pericarp, or the rind, which is where all the goodness is, into the juice. We are a category creator. What do we mean by that? Well, the category, of course, is mangosteen juice, and the brand is Zango. The company is also called Zango. Category creator means we are the first to market, the undisputed leader in this category. In fact, in just 4.5 years now, Zango and mangosteen juice have become synonymous. People someday will not say, did you drink your mangosteen juice today? What they will say is, did you have your Zango today? Just like if you had a cold, you would use a Kleenex to blow your nose. Well, Kleenex is just a category. It is not the actual product, right? It's a tissue. And so that's an example of a category creator. The mangosteen juice is also a nutraceutical fruit juice. What does that mean? A nutraceutical is a food with medicinal properties and pharmaceutical benefits. So, for example, prune juice is a nutraceutical fruit juice. If you're constipated, you're not too likely to phone a doctor. And ask for a prescription. You're much more likely to go down to the grocery store, pick up some prune juice, drink it with a little extra water, and hopefully tomorrow morning, life is much happier. That's a nutraceutical fruit juice. It has medicinal properties and pharmaceutical benefits. Because it's a juice, it's also easily assimilated. Capsules or tablets would have to first be digested, but because this is a liquid, it goes straight into the bloodstream and goes to our cells where our body can use it as it needs. And, of course, it tastes great. If you've not had a chance to taste this yet and you're a guest listening to this call, please get with the person that asked you on the call or sent you to this website to listen to this and ask them for a taste of the juice because it is very good. What makes it so powerful? Well, these are some of the items that are in our juice, in the mangosteen fruit. And these are what has created the powerful opportunity for your body to use this fruit in its whole state form, to use it in however it needs it. Now, I could go on and on about the science, and I'm not going to do that today. What I would like to do is actually have someone else share their story with you and let you know what kind of results they've had. Patty Onsorge is the owner of a beautiful spa in Kelowna, British Columbia, a 20K with Zango, and has a great story to share with us. Patty, are you with us?
I am, Melody.
All right. Patty, take it away. Tell us about your mangosteen experience.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you so much for having me on this call, and especially to you, Melody, for taking the time and effort to present this to women. I just think it's such powerful information that we all need to know. I was introduced to this product probably almost 4 years ago now, and was completely resistant to it, was not interested in the least. In fact, I think I got involved because I had done networking before, was extremely busy with my other business, and moved my case of juice around my office for probably 3 or 4 months before I hadn't even tried it. However, at that point in my life, I was completely burnt out. I had opened a new business, was actually suffering with depression, was on 2 antidepressants at that time with very little results, and was extremely concerned about the side effects. Happened to try this juice on a vacation, basically just so the person that was introducing it to me would quit bugging me about it. I thought, I'll just fool her. I'll just drink it, and she won't talk to me about it anymore. So that's how skeptical I was. And long story short, within 6 weeks of using this product, I was off all my meds. Now, I don't recommend everybody do that, but that was my experience. I'm here to tell you that was over 3 years ago. I feel fantastic. This has certainly been a life-changing experience for me. I had some very interesting side effects from this juice. I had side effects like no more heartburn, no more joint pain, no more hot flashes, much more energy. So those were the kind of side effects I experienced drinking my Zango. On top of all of that, this business has definitely changed my lifestyle. I finally say I have time freedom and the money to enjoy the things that I love to do. We were dreaming of owning our own home again. As you alluded to earlier, opening up a new business is extremely expensive today and very risky. And so we had invested everything that we had in our business, and that included the money from our home. So how are we going to get a home again? And, I'll tell you very excitedly, within the last 2 months, we've just moved into a brand new home on a golf course. Sitting in an office right now overlooking just a fabulous view. We're so excited to be here. We have room for company and to do Zango meetings here. Really exciting. A month ago, I had the really, exciting privilege to purchase a new car. And I had been driving around with my visor in an older car with a visor of a picture of a car that I wanted. And it was a white convertible, and I'm really excited to tell you that I just purchased a brand new white Solara convertible. And I'm having a ball. Yeah, I'm having a ball driving around Kelowna here, just enjoying myself. So do I recommend this? Absolutely. I am so excited about the possibilities for other people with this business and product that, if you're having a look or having some thoughts about this, I really want to encourage you to look harder and to take this opportunity with both hands and go for it.
Thank you, Patty. That's just awesome. It's an exciting story when I hear about those kind of side effects, and I can't wait to get to see your car one day. All right, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about what the real research said. These are some of the things. There's been research done over the past 30 years in universities around the world that shows that xanthones are valuable in the following ways. And these are all from the research that's been done, and of course you've heard lots of other stories as well. So what we're talking about here is a billion-dollar product. This is Dr. Frederick Templeman. He says, I've never encountered anything that has this amount of independent research. I'm convinced that the mangosteen fruit will, without a doubt, be the most successful food supplement ever. So we go on to learn a little bit more about this industry and business. Nutritional supplements have 10 times the profit potential of other popular home business industries. Liquid nutrition is the hottest industry in home businesses and has become literally 10 times more viable than most of the others that are considered in home business industries. Important for you to know if you are going to look at doing a home-based business. You want to pick something that is hot and is growing. And of course, today Zango, we have the #1 selling liquid nutritional in North America due to its great results, taste, and retention. There are 4 key factors to that point of why we're #1. First of all, we have the executive team with an amazing proven track record. I just have to, as a Canadian, say I'm excited because 2 of them are Canadians. Joe Morton, the dreamer and founder of The Fruit, older brother Gordon Morton, who wrote the compensation plan. And so all of the founders come with so much experience. Not one founder, we have 6, and any one of them could run a Fortune 500 company on their own. But instead, we are so blessed because they formed a team, an executive dream team, who each bring a special skill to the table. It's important to know that this company was debt-free after 8 months of opening, unheard of in the world. Normally, you're lucky if you make 3 to 5 years in a business. And none of these gentlemen have ever been involved with a business that has failed or had to declare bankruptcy. So combined, our executive team has a proven track record of over 100 years of successful marketing experience, and that's why in just 4 years we function and operate like a 40-year-old company. Another key factor is that we have a unique consumable product. It's a category creator and it's affordable. If you're going to be in business, you don't want to be in business that's maybe marketing fridges, for example, because how often do you buy a fridge? You want to make sure it's consumable and being used by people and getting results. We have a proven success support system. You know, whether that be the internet, the phone, the upline, we just have amazing leaders. And you know, we have as leaders in this company people like Art and Terry Manville and Sherman Unkefer and David Butler. We have leaders, and Bob Schmidt, and there's more. They're not just amazing leaders in Zango. They're actually legends in this industry. They have proven themselves, and they have offered so much training and guidance for all of us who are building this business. And most importantly, we have a workable compensation plan for both the part and full-time builder. And you know, you need to get with the person that invited you on this call to go through that compensation plan with them and see why it's just the best plan out there. Zango is the next big one. This is from Darren Falter, author of How to Select a Home-Based Business. He says Zango is becoming the biggest buzz in home business. Never in the history of the industry have so many experts and insiders agreed that one company could be the next billion-dollar giant. And I could go on and on and on with the list of predictions for where Zango is going and when it's going to reach $1 billion and that it's going to be the first to reach $1 billion. Ask again for some of those details. Let's go back to the Boomer Woman. Here's 3 Boomer women. We have Karen Huss, Marlene Belinget, and myself, Melody Johnson. But here's a great quote, and here is, I think, what sums up the Boomer Woman today. This is from Rebecca Harris in The Grown-Up Woman. She says, the Boomer Woman functions as an evangelist. If you form a relationship with Boomer women, they will refer you and talk about your products as long as you don't risk losing that authenticity and that relationship. And that's the key about Boomer women. Now, is this business for you? You know, it might not be. We believe this product is for everybody, but the business may not be for you. But we do encourage that you take a closer look. Do your due diligence. But remember, once you've done your due diligence, take your time to deliberate. But when it comes time that you've said, okay, this makes sense, take action and get started. It's important that you discover your passion. Does this match for you? Do you dream big dreams? Does the network marketing model align with your core value system? Is it a vehicle to your dreams? That's what you have to check out. If you love to lead by teaching, influencing others to find their own world of financial abundance without having to beat the competition, then a network marketing business may be right for you. That's from Robert Kiyosaki. All right, because this is a business about helping other people get to the top. Remember that from way back when we were talking. I believe you can become wealthy by being generous and abundant. Network marketing has allowed Merle and I to express our core values and beliefs because it is about helping people find new ways in their lives, about reaching new goals and new pinnacles. After that, the money just follows. It's a natural. I encourage you to dream big. If you're on this call with questions, get back to the person that invited you on the call. Talk to your upline. If you're new and you're getting started, if you're a 1K and you want to know what it's like, can I actually become a 20K and a Premier and a 100K? Of course you can. I encourage you to dream big. We have so many people on this line and in our teams that have dreamed big and have discovered all sorts of new lifestyles, or not new lifestyles, but new ways of expressing their lifestyle. So I want to thank you all very much for being here. I promise to tell you how you can get your own copy of this presentation. I've put together a package which includes a DVD that actually has me doing a presentation live, so you can get to sort of get a feel for it. It also includes a CD that you put into your computer, and you will get this PowerPoint presentation for the U.S., one for Canada. You'll get sample tickets. You'll get sample invitation scripts and an email to send to your team members, a list of how to, just all the specifics around the event. It is a whole package that will allow you to take this presentation and work with it in your own town. I am hoping that you are going to take this to women everywhere and take it to men too, because they need to hear. This is the price. It's $17.95 whether you're in the U.S. or in Canada. And this is how you can send payment and how you can order it. And we will be sending out emails, so hopefully they'll get spread out to all of you. If not, there's my email address. If you missed all these details, you can do that. I'm going to leave that on the screen for a second, but I want to thank you all again for taking time, and I know we're running over a bit on the hour, but I want to remind you that, you know what, there are solutions. Yes, the picture is ugly. The reality is not something that was fun to discover. But you know what? There are possibilities that we can change that reality. There are solutions. And I, for one, recommend network marketing. And it's not just me. You heard it. It's Donald Trump. It's Robert Kiyosaki. It's Paul Zane Pilzer. They're all out there recommending that you take a look at network marketing as a plan B, as an option for your future and for your retirement, or for just creating the kind of lifestyle, the freedom, the residual income that you would love to have. I hope you've enjoyed today, and I thank you very much for being on the call with us, and we look forward to meeting you at the next big event.
Okay, thanks a lot, Melody. Fantastic job, and thank you all for hanging in with us while we went through our technical difficulties, ran a little overtime. Great job, Melody. Thanks for coming on the call. Let's open up the lines very quickly here so that we can say goodbye. We'll have another presentation next Saturday. If you're on this and you're not a part of our email loop, go to becomingapremier.com. You can join our email loop. Thanks, Melody and her whole team, for coming on the call. Let's open up the line so we can thank them.
Thank you, Art. Thank you, Art.